People even leave babies parked in strollers outside coffee shops while they run errands.
Hell no!
And I think partly the Nordics...
You cannot do that in America. You can leave a bag and nobody's going to take your bag in America. Some places, not everywhere. Some places in America, you can definitely leave your bag and nobody going to take it. But ain't nobody going to leave no baby, because you leave a baby, that baby gone. What's good, YouTube? It is your boy GeoBoss here, and we're back with another reaction video for Foreign Reacts. We're going to be doing something really special today. This one is titled Why Finland and Denmark Are Happier Than the US. So we do know that America is not the happiest country, not the most peaceful. There's a lot of issues in America, right? But America is still chill, right? So we're going to see what this is about. Let's see if it's gonna sway my mind to thinking that the European section might just maybe would be better to live than in America. But either ways, guys, leave a like in the video and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, man. I've been checking out other countries, so please do leave those suggestions in the comment section down below. I'll get back to you at a later time.
What makes me happy is...
I think I was definitely born happy. And then life happens.
I'm getting a bit emotional here.
Yeah.
I feel very happy.
very happy.
I'm happier now than when I lived in New York, and I got paid probably twice as much in New York as I do here.
Our happiness is kind of like quiet happiness, kind of.
So right off the bat, it seems like they're actually comparing their American experience with the European experience. I want to try that. I want to see what it would be like being in Finland, being in Denmark, Germany, whatever. See that experience and then speak on it, because obviously if Buddy was in New York and you know, he was getting 2 times the pay, so he would probably like maybe probably $150,000 per year, right? And probably he's getting like 75 or 70 for the year now in the European section, but he obviously is happier. So we see though.
Less.
What does it take to be happy? The Nordic countries seem to have it all figured out. Finland and Denmark have consistently topped the United Nations' most prestigious index, the World Happiness Report, in all 6 areas of life satisfaction. How have they cracked the formula? And are the people there really the happiest?
That's what I want to know.
The United Nations just named the happiest place on Earth. It is not Disney World. It's Finland.
In 2019, the World Happiness Report named Finland the happiest country in the world for the 2nd year in a row. Denmark came in 2nd place after claiming the top slot in 2013 and 2016. Year after year, Nordic countries like Norway, Iceland, and Sweden round out the top of the list. Enter Jeffrey Sachs, a professor at Columbia and the co-editor of the World Happiness Report.
What do those countries have? They have a high level of prosperity, to be sure, but they're not the richest countries in the world by any means. The idea is a good balance of life. You don't have to get super rich to be happy, they believe. In fact, if someone's super rich, they look, what's wrong with that person? So they're not societies that are aiming for all of the effort and time to becoming gazillionaires. They're looking for a good balance of life, and the results are extreme.
Y'all know I'm going through a little bit of a phase right now watching this video, and it's actually I notice I'm actually smiling watching the video, and that's kind of weird because I'm actually getting happy watching the video, and I'm not even in these countries. That's kind of crazy, right? But I do get his perspective right here. It actually makes 100%. It's not really about stacking up the amount of money. That's besides, in America, when you have a lot of money, bro, you got to get a lot of security, right? You got to get a lot of security, and it's kind of not the safest thing, you know. So I can see where he's coming from with all that.
Extremely positive.
The annual happiness ranking began in 2012. But we can trace measuring happiness back to 1971.
It came in the inspiration of the country of Bhutan, a country in the Himalayas that many people know for its innovation of attempting to measure gross national happiness.
Globally, a standard for measuring success and productivity is gross national product.
Bhutan had the bright idea of trying to measure happiness.
Measuring happiness is a fairly complicated business. First of all, we need to understand what happiness means.
It means the satisfaction with the way one's life is going. It's not primarily a measure of whether one laughed or smiled yesterday, but how one feels about the course of one's life.
Meet Mike Viking, happiness researcher and CEO of the Happiness Research Institute in Denmark.
There's a lot of factors that impact happiness, everything from biology to income levels to the city they live in. But I think the best predictor we see in the data of whether people are happy or not is whether they're satisfied or happy with their relationships. So do we have somebody we can rely on in times of need? Do we have somebody we can share our hopes and worries with?
These 6 categories help account for the differences in life satisfaction around the world: GDP per capita, healthy life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, social support, generosity, and absence of corruption.
On average, richer countries are happier. On average, richer people are happier. But once we get to a certain level of income, additional $100 a month is not going to impact how people feel about their lives. So with money, like with everything else, we see diminishing marginal return.
And I don't know why I'm bringing up this quote because it's extremely corny, but there is a Kanye West song in which he says that having money is not everything, not having it is. And I do think that's true in the sense that when you don't have it, it's all you worry about. And when you do have money, you can actually worry about other stuff.
That makes
Happiness
sense.
also seems like this elusive thing. We have 2 words for happiness in Danish. So we have lykke, which is the elusive thing, the thing you experience once every blue moon. And then we have to be glad, like the word glad, which is different because it's more down to earth, and you can be glad despite the fact that it's not anything special. It's no special day. Lykke seems like this elusive thing that you can't quite chase. To be glad is more like our mindset. So I feel more like I choose to be glad at times rather than sort of trying to chase happiness, because that seems like it's never going to happen that way.
Maria lives in Helsinki with her husband Duke and her 2-year-old son Luca.
Wow.
Hi, yes! Yes, there it is.
Finland is the best place to have kids. When you go give birth, it's almost free.
Really? Is it? Y'all let me know. Finn's in the comment section, man. Let me know. Is Finland the best country to give birth to a child? Well, I can't give birth. I don't have a... You know what? Let me not go there.
We stayed in the hospital 3 full days as a family. We had our own family room and we got like meals and support and help and everything, and the bill was about 300 euros in the end. It's basically like living in a hotel.
In Finland, new mothers receive a free baby box jam-packed with 63 items to help with the baby's first year.
You don't have to buy anything for the first 2-3 months. Of course, diapers and stuff like that, but basically. And also, you can actually put your baby to sleep in that box. Our baby actually, Luca, slept in the box for the first month.
Finland, along with the other Nordic countries, offers generous parental leave. Anu Partanen, author of The Nordic Theory of Everything, spent 10 years as a journalist in the US before returning to her home country, Finland. She's also a mother.
In Finland, you get 10 months of paid parental leave, out of which about 4 months is set aside for the mother, and you start it before the baby is born, and then father can keep 9 weeks.
Typically, both parents stay home for the first 3 weeks. They share the rest of the time until the baby is 9 months old.
That's
a
really
parent
cool,
can even
though,
stay
because,
home until the child...
Hold on. Pause the video. Calm down. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to pause the video. The video was trying to pause. Either way, that's really important because a lot of people don't get it, right? A father is really important in a child's life, and giving a mother particularly a long period, right? Maternity leave, whatever you call it, right? And excluding the father is kind of sad, right? Because yes, he is he doesn't, you know, bear the child. He's not going to be in pain and so on and so forth, and likely he's not going to be doing the you know, the diaper changes. He's going to just be the masculine figure, right? But on the other hand, you want the child to understand, hey, I have two parents, there's a dad as well, right? So it is quite important. I'm not going to say that the dad deserves to have as much as the mother has, period. I don't even think he deserves 25% of what she gets, right? But it is important for him to at least get at least a 10%. So if she gets 9 months, he at least deserves at least a month and maybe month and 3 weeks at most, right? So it is good that Finland does that. That's really a beautiful thing to do.
Is 3 years old and keep his or her job. However, the stipend is much smaller.
Another determinant of well-being is one's sense of personal freedom to make important life choices. Can you shape your life the way you want?
Christina was unhappy at her job in advertising and took an 8-month break.
Social security is also something I think is very important. What I did didn't make me happy, and it didn't let me have that work-life balance that we cherish so much here. And so we have a system that made it possible for me to quit my job and have some thinking time and figure out, you know, what's my next step in life.
Christina received about $2,000 a month from the Danish government while she was unemployed. She is now in school to become a painter.
Y'all know that in America, you do get unemployment benefits, but it's not always accepted. I think the unemployment rate, acceptance rate is around, I don't remember if it's like 70%, I don't remember, right? But I heard this specifically from a person who does the unemployment acceptance, where in America you lose your job or whatever, or it's a situation, for example, when COVID just started, a lot of people submitted their unemployment. You do get a salary, right? If you are accepted, you get a salary, but it's not like a standard amount. It's more like what your salary is. You'll get like a percentage of that or something. But like if you made like maybe $4,000 a month, you're not getting $4,000. Do not think so. And that's the reason why America is rich. A lot of people don't understand America is rich because of the things that they don't take from us, right? So even the healthcare system, a lot of people go havoc over it, but really if America was supposed to get free health, it simply means that more taxes will be there and you would not be as rich. It's that simple, right? So it would be more of a equal thing, where everybody would be a balance. So it's not highly rich, mid, low, extremely poor. It's not that. It would be mid-rich, mid. That's it.
Her tuition is covered, and she receives an educational stipend of about $1,000 a month.
Oh my, wow.
Two of the biggest perks of life in Denmark and Finland are free education and free healthcare.
Income taxes are not at all as high in the Nordic countries that Americans tend to think. However, overall, it is completely true that the Nordic countries collect more taxes in general than the United States does.
Exactly.
In Finland and the Nordic countries, there are higher taxes on consumption, like eating in restaurants and buying jeans.
But
6.2 to the 21, bro. Oh my god, bro. Like what? That's something that, in terms of America versus the European countries, Finland, Denmark, we're going to just use them for an example right now. That's a thing that if I ever lived in any of these countries, that would probably shock me so much because, okay, so in America, you guys probably know, you probably don't know, but you have state taxes, whereas depending on your state, the amount of tax that is paid while you're shopping, it is different, right? So you have states where you have no tax at all, period. For me in South Carolina, I'm not in South Carolina right now, I'm in Florida, but in Carolina, right, it was really higher. I think mine was like 14%, right? But it was really because it was a tourist attraction area. It was like it was like an amusement type stuff, right? So a lot of fun stuff was in that area. It was really, the streets was cleaned every day, stuff like that, right? But well, in Florida, I'm not sure how much it is. I don't live here, right, in Florida. I don't live in Florida, but I'm here, right, on vacation with sister, right? But places like Pennsylvania has way lower than South Carolina, and a lot of states has a lower tax rate, right? So it fluctuates depending on the state, but that 21 is really high. But I guess I don't know, but in my opinion, I think even though it's higher, you are getting the benefits back, so it's not like it's a total, death sentence, in my opinion, if you get what I mean.
The thing that I think a lot of Americans forget is that the Nordic people are happy to pay those taxes because they get services in return. Daycare, great.
See, guys, I'm literally saying what she's gonna say, and I don't even, you see what I'm talking about?
Public education, it includes your college, tuition free, it includes healthcare. All of those are included in your taxes.
When the news hit that Finland is the happiest country in the world, I think most people kind of reacted to it like, what are they talking about? We don't think of ourselves as very happy because it's dark and gloomy in the winter and whatever.
It's easier for Finns and Danes to shape their lives because the government supports so many of their basic needs.
The American dream is probably more alive in Denmark. The perception of freedom is probably also a little bit different. It seems like in the US, the feeling is you have to be protected from the government and you have to have freedom from the government. I think in Denmark, the sense is that the government protects you.
People trust other people. You leave a bag in a restaurant in Finland, you're pretty sure you're going to make it back and the money is still there.
People even leave babies parked in strollers outside coffee shops while they run errands.
Hell no!
And I think partly the Nordics...
You cannot do that in America. You can leave a bag and nobody's going to take your bag in America. Some places, not everywhere. Some places in America, you can definitely leave your bag and nobody's going to take it. But ain't nobody going to leave no baby, because you leave a baby, that baby gone.
Super wealth, and there's absolutely no super poverty. Everybody participates. It turns out it leads to a wonderful kind of life, and one that is expressed year after year as making these countries the happiest countries in the world.
Monica and Alex are expats who live in Copenhagen with...
I got a question though, like, for an example, like, I don't even know if anybody's gonna make it this far in the video because it's a really long video. Let's say I make $1 million per year and I'm living in Finland, Denmark, whatever. Do I pay the same amount of tax rate? Or do I have to pay a higher percentage? Like, I'm still, like, let's say I'm making 50,000 a year versus me making $1 million. Do I pay a 25% on both ends, or do I increase in the amount that I have to pay just because I'm making more money? Tell me that in the comment section down below, because I really don't know that part.
They're two teenagers. Alex is originally from the UK, and Monica is originally from New York.
What else do you need? The olive oil and the balsamic vinegar.
Free steak.
We originally came here expecting to stay only 3 years, but it was so good. I've been here 9 now.
It's also safe, and this comes back to the community and the trust. We can let our kids go out, and we do not have to sit here being really worried that, are they going to come back? Are they safe where they're going? Do we have to go pick them up? We still worry, of course, but it's just very different. There's still this very strong sense of family, friends, community.
Balance is the formula for happiness. Aristotle had it right when he launched the study of happiness 2,300 years ago.
According to Aristotle's golden mean, good behavior lies between two vices: excess and deficiency.
People who pursue only money and say, I'll be happier the richer I am, turn out to be less happy.
I do think having nice surroundings is a part of happiness, but I also think it needs to be linked with something that sort of resonates with you on a deeper level. Having nice surroundings and having a lot of money and being in a 5-star hotel in Las Vegas doesn't make you happy at all. So I think it needs to have that balance.
Cue the classic Nordic work-life balance. Rich Perusi, former New Yorker, has been living in Copenhagen for 7 years.
People stay pretty tight to a 9-to-5 workday, but I do think that we get as much done in a short period of time here as we were doing in longer times working in New York.
One of the comments we actually heard when we first came here was a Dane saying that when you see someone working late, are they doing it because they can't get their work done? Is there something wrong with them versus are they just trying to get ahead and working? There is a sense that yes, work's important and you need to get your work done to a high quality, but you also need to make sure it's balanced appropriately.
Sara Alhupuro is a diplomat and an artist who has shaped her work schedule to make time for her passion.
So I actually need to go to my physical workplace only 3 days a week. So then the rest of the time I can spend here in the middle of nature. When I walk in the forest, I walk there very quietly, paying attention to all the small details and all the colors very slowly, and I try to spot all the small details. And I completely lose the track of time. Usually I spend about 5 to 6 hours picking mushrooms.
Hold on. I know you ain't went in the forest by yourself. Oh wait, she has a camera, so she ain't by herself. But just think about it, being in a forest. Like, what about the animals? Like, what is it safe? Like, not with the humans, but the animals. Is it safe like that, or what's up?
People don't make as much money in the Nordic countries as they do in the US.
No.
So it's not really about how much you make. You don't have to make as much to get the same quality of life as you would in the United States.
So if we look at the dimension called life satisfaction, we can see that money does matter for well-being and happiness. But I mean, on average, richer countries are happier. On average, richer people are happier. But the mechanism here is being without money is a cause of unhappiness.
Not everyone likes to talk about money either.
In Finland, it's been this kind of rule that you don't talk about money that much. At least, like, my parents basically wouldn't tell me how much they made, for example, if I would ask as a kid. It would be considered bragging if you would tell about how much you make, etc.
People are happier when they are generous and when they feel that the society that they're in is a generous society. And then we find people want to live in places with decent government. If government is corrupt, if leaders are bizarre or autocratic or corrupt, the society is unhappy.
In 2019, Finland elected the world's youngest serving prime minister, 34-year-old Sanna Marin.
Y'all gotta be kidding me now. 34? Ain't no way she's 34 for sure. No! 34. Oh my gosh, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Danes are among the happiest people in the world, but they're not necessarily the friendliest. Lars A.P., author of Effing Flink and founder of the movement of the same name, wants to change that.
So Effing Flink is a national movement. Our prime goal is to take Danes that are among the happiest people in the world, but also being the friendliest people in the world. Why are we doing this? Well, because friendliness and positive human interaction means so much to us. Science shows us that. And so we're trying to do that in all sectors and all realms that we can think of.
Finland and Denmark both have populations of less than 6 million people. The US has over 330 million people. The Nordic countries are pretty homogeneous too. Do population size and diversity affect happiness?
Danish. I think
a lot of countries with relatively homogeneous population similarities among people ethnically or in terms of religion and so on are not very happy, so it's no guarantee. And on the other hand, it's possible to have a lot of diversity and more happiness. Our northern neighbor in the United States, Canada, ranks higher.
Yeah, I think that Finland is probably one of the most homogeneous countries in Europe. Still, we have recently had quite a lot of immigration, but I would say that still it is fairly homogeneous.
I think it's funny because I kind of always, I guess, assumed that.
For me, personally, I think that even if you're going to be homogeneous, I've never heard of the word before, but I obviously understand the meaning of it. If you're a person that listens, you'll get the meaning of things without trying to research. But either ways, you being from Finland originally is a good thing, right? And for me, if you do go to Finland, Denmark, one of these particular countries, what I think is that people should not try to break Finnish culture or to demolish or to destroy it. Demolish, destroy, same thing. But to go against it. You should try to embrace it and understand that this is what makes Finns Finns. And I think that is a thing that would allow you to be homogeneous, right? If I'm saying that correctly, right? And I think that's a very important thing that a lot of people probably mess up when they go to these particular countries. They try to change the country to make it like America. No, you left America. You don't expect to find America in another country, right? So if I was supposed to say, move to Denmark, Finland, one of these countries, I cannot go there expecting America. I have to understand, hey, I left America. There's a difference with these countries, and I have to act a certain way and become, because I personally believe you can become homogeneous after a period of time. You can act like these people, you can sound and speak like these people if you try hard enough. And once people realize that, okay, you are trying to be a fit-in, they will allow you to fit in. But if you're trying to change these people, they're not going to allow you to fit in, and they're going to just rebel against it. That's personally what I think, and that's going to it's going to destroy your energy there, if you know what I mean. They're going to reject you. Make sense?
Danish society was kind of diverse, but then we went to see Dave Chappelle's show here in Copenhagen, and both him and the guy who he had with him as support kind of opened their show saying Denmark is so white. And I never really thought about that before, but then ever since that show, I just think about it all the time.
We've been having immigration for hundreds of years from all over Europe. I mean, in the 70s, we had a lot of people from Turkey coming up, from Vietnam. We had people from Yugoslavia in the 90s, and Denmark has remained happy throughout that period.
The 2018 World Happiness Report explores happiness among natives and immigrants. It shows that when immigrants are happy, the countries are too. But if the country is already happy, new immigrants will experience increased happiness.
It shouldn't undermine happiness in the Nordic countries that there are influx of people born abroad.
There's also a dark side to happiness.
Like in Denmark, one of the biggest epidemics right now is stress, and people being sick with stress and having to leave their jobs. And people outside of Denmark didn't really understand what that meant. Like, what do you mean stress leave? But it might be that expectation to have a work-life balance here that stresses people out, that you both have to work, but you also have to take care of your family, you also have to be social with your friends, you also have to, do this self-realization thing, hobbies and traveling, and there's so much you have to do in the same amount of hours, whereas maybe in New York or other places, you know that you're gonna work to 10 every day, so you don't expect to have the same balance,
Yeah. It can be hard for outsiders to break into the Nordic cultures.
The Danes have such tight-knit friend and family groups. It's not very natural for them to just include new people into their groups.
It is a little harder when you come in from the outside to sort of become part of that group. We've had some great Danish friends, some met at work, but it is harder, I think, on that side compared to the UK and the US in terms of developing friendships.
There can be serious side effects to maintaining high levels of happiness.
Within the States, if you look at the level of life satisfaction, the higher the life satisfaction, actually also the slightly higher the level of suicide rates.
Oh, really?
And the theory here is that it might be more difficult to be unhappy in an otherwise happy society because it creates a stronger contrast to how you are feeling if you are surrounded by very happy people. So Denmark actually used to have really high suicide rates. So in 1980, we had suicide rates of around 40 per 100,000, which was, I think, some of the highest in the world. Now, fortunately, it's around 25% of that, so it's around 10 per 100.
Like, I've always thought America had the highest rate in suicides. Like, I've always thought that, but clearly I'm wrong. No, well, obviously, this is a 2015 statistic report right here. We're having America higher, right? But Denmark, Finland actually decreased a lot, especially for Denmark. Finland actually had a spike right there, but that's not bad. It's actually decreasing. America kind of maintaining a little margin, you know.
1,000.
South Korea and Lithuania have some of the highest suicide rates in the OECD as of 2017.
So fortunately, suicide rates have been reduced a lot in Denmark. Also in Finland, there's also been a great reduction over the past few decades. But still, it's not zero. So we still need to reduce that even further.
Despite mental health challenges, a big part of Finnish culture focuses on overall well-being.
Sauna is a sacred thing for Finns. I have so many good memories about having these sauna moments with my family.
Sauna is something that I suppose you kind of have to like and love as a Finn.
As of 2018, there were 5.5 million people living in Finland and around 2.3 million saunas.
My grandmother always used to tell us kids that we can't fight in the sauna because then we would risk angering the sauna elf. And there's even a sauna in the government of Finland where they say that they make some of the most important political compromises because you're culturally not allowed to fight in the sauna.
Danes have mastered the art of comfort and coziness through hygge.
I think the best short definition of what hygge is the art of creating a nice atmosphere. And of course that is something that happens everywhere, but what is uniquely Danish is we have a word that describes that situation.
You can curl up in a couch and read a good book and have good music on and just be in a hyggekrog. It actually means a hygge corner of your room. There's a social component to hygge, which I think is really important.
Hygge seeps everywhere throughout the country, from cozy drinks to warm lighting.
So one concrete manifestation of hygge is the focus on lighting. The rule of thumb is the warmer the light, the more hyggelig the light. So Danes love candles.
So how does hygge contribute to happiness?
So happiness is both having a strong sense of purpose in life. It's also experiencing moments of pleasure on a daily basis. It's also feeling satisfied with life overall. So hygge is this element in our daily lives where we experience comfort and pleasure and togetherness. And hopefully over time that accumulates also to a higher sense of life satisfaction.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense.
Another way Denmark and Finland support their citizens? Paid annual vacation.
So in all Nordic countries, everybody has a right to paid annual vacation. It varies a little by country, but in Finland, for example, it's typically after you work 1 year for the same employer, it's 4 weeks in the summer and 1 week in the winter, and everybody gets this.
I actually heard a statistic. It's something like when Americans go home after work October 27th, you guys have worked as much as Danes will work for the entire year. But I actually think that taking a little more time off also makes you a lot more productive.
In Finland, it's traditional to spend the summer in a summer cottage.
I can't really disagree with them. Taking some time off kind of makes you a little bit more productive because you're a lot more focused and you understand the assignment a little bit better because you're not rushing too much. You know, a lot of rushing can actually lead to a chaotic end if that makes sense to you guys.
Or mukki.
We did have a summer house when I was little. It was something that my grandfather built himself during the 60s, I think. And we used to go there all the time when I was small. A week doesn't go past during the summer when I'm not thinking like, oh, I wish we still had it.
Traditionally, the mökkis wouldn't have necessarily electricity or running water. And usually most mökkis come with a lake or the Baltic Sea. You can go to your sauna and have a dip in the water.
So in a Nordic country, the vacation time also serves families that if the parents stagger their vacations a bit, they can handle much easier the summer vacations for their children. And of course then the family can spend time together.
Maybe Finnish happiness is more like inside, you know, it's like inner peace or something like that. It's not so open. It's like a balance. It's more balance, I think. So, ready.
Ultimately, happiness is relative.
If you think you're having more sex than your neighbor, then you're happier. We are social beings, we compare ourselves to each other.
Bro, what? Bro says we're social beings, we compare ourselves to each other. We do tend to do that. We do.
So there are social comparisons in salary, in terms of the houses and how successful we believe we are, but also in terms of sex.
So, what's one small way we can be happier today?
For me, something that I've done which has made me happier is exercise.
I think the saying no or being a tiny bit more selfish can make you happy.
One step to improve your sense of happiness is go first. So you're walking down the street, someone else comes walking towards you. It might be just a smile. It might be just looking the other person in the eye, whatever it is, but go first with that, because you can't expect that the other person is going to do it. Don't be reactive, go first.
In Denmark, we sometimes talk about the ABC for mental health. If you want to boost your mood, 3 sort of universal tips is doing something active, doing something together with other people, and doing something meaningful. So gather a group of friends, go for a walk. That could be something that could boost your mood.
Correct.
Predicting the future on this is very difficult, unfortunately. Where will the U.S. be? It could be even worse than now. It could be much better than now. It's a matter of actually making choices for a better direction for the country, and one that is not guided by fear and hate, but one that is guided by a sense of community and the common good.
I personally don't think America will ever get to the state where they're as happy as Finland, Denmark. Really, I don't think it's possible. And God bless Finland, Denmark, man. They're doing really good because happiness it's not the easiest thing to have success in that, right? And like I said, the whole tax situation, that is a major thing that causes them to be happy as well, because if you're supposed to speak about the happiness with the successful Americans, they're going to be happy, but having 330 million plus, I'm going to just go 340 million, right? 340, 350 million, right? People in a country, right? And majority of those are mid to poor, right? To extremely poor. The happiness rate is going to be extremely low. But if everybody was balanced, I mean, you have guys with billions, and I'm not talking about 100 billion, we're talking about 200 plus billion, right? And think about if those guys were limited, right, to let's say 3 billion, right? And the other folks had like 1 million, 100,000, nobody was literally broke. Happiness would have been way higher in America, but that's not something that America was made for. America was not made for happiness. It was made for a selfish type of lifestyle where you succeed by grinding hard, working extremely hard, right? And avoiding all these taxes. There are so many ways in America that you can ditch taxes, period, right? Financially, you can be so stable in America, never paying a single coin for tax, right? And it's just hacks that you can do in America, and that's the reason why you are capable of being so wealthy in America. But anyways, guys, this was a very long video. I'm out of here, man. I hope y'all enjoy, man. I hope y'all actually watch this. This was a beautiful video. Finland, Denmark, I'm definitely coming there. Yeah, but either ways, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.